This is the Doogee T30 Pro. I really like this. Throughout this review, bear in mind this is a £300 tablet. You can probably expect to find it discounted below that price as well, so check the link in the description and keep your eyes out for discount codes. If you gave this tablet to someone who hadn't had much experience of high-end tablets over the last 5 years and said, this is what an Android tablet is, they would have no problems whatsoever and they'd be really impressed. There'd be nothing to criticize. They would enjoy typing away on it on the keyboard. They would access all their apps. They would enjoy watching video and playing games on it. They would enjoy browsing on it. It's good, but who's it really for? There isn't a lot of standout features. It's not rugged like Doogee smartphones are. I and many other Doogee fans would really love to see them bring a properly rugged tablet to market. It does have a little bit of that rugged feel. It's got this kind of sandblasted edge to it. And when you put it in the cases, they all have this kind of industrial Doogee-esque design, which just reminds you of the kind of rugged pedigree of the tablet. It does feel quite safe and secure when you're in this case. This is the keyboard case. They do include a basic case in the box, and the keyboard case itself is not an expensive upgrade. These both bring it with that kind of rugged, sort of utilitarian, durable kind of look. It's going to appeal to people who work in industrial settings or even outdoors. Even the keyboard case has a little pointing device, which is very nice, so you can use that as a mouse and click your way around the Android operating system. There's no real stylus support, even though they do ship it with one for some reason in the box. It's just a passive capacitive stylus. There's no better than just using your finger on the screen essentially. The foaminess of this keyboard case does take away from any kind of premium feeling, whereas the actual tablet itself out of the case does in general feel like a premium device, apart from the camera module, which leaves something to be desired. That's just looks, isn't it? It does altogether have the feeling of a kind of workaday tablet, and something that you wouldn't be too precious if you were to drop it, for instance. It does come with a screen protector, which is pre-installed as well, which is always nice to see. But I think that screen protector is making the top surface really quite reflective, and it's quite difficult to see, even at its full brightness in this bright outdoor light. Certainly not with polarizing sunglasses on. I and many others would love to see Doogee bring an Eink tablet to market. Bring us a properly rugged Eink tablet. That would be something that doesn't already exist out there, and something useful to people. People who work outside, reflective screens like Eink are a real way to go. I'd love to see that. There's one issue I'm just noticing here. Because it's connected to the keyboard by pogo pins, the keyboard is actually engaged even when it's behind the tablet here, so they need to work something out for software, knowing when it's actually behind it and you don't want the keys to actually actuate. The screen clarity is excellent. It's a really crisp 2.5K bright and vibrant screen. Colors are really saturated. It's not quite OLED, but it's better than your average IPS screen. I noticed when I unboxed it, it had really poor viewing angles. I'm wondering if that had something to do with the blue light filters, because it does have TUV Rhineland certification, reduces the blue light emissions of the screen, supposedly. It should give it a bit more eye comfort. And this is an interesting idea for me to explore in future videos, like what's the best for eye comfort? Is it e-ink? Is it RLCD, or can you get away with these TUV Rhineland certified devices which are out there? Battery is fine but not impressive. It's generally been sat on my desk for a good few days between charges, and I've occasionally gone to it to type notes into Xtiles, and the rest of the time it's been on standby, and a little bit of light browsing and viewing on the sofa as well. I would say probably about 3 days of intermittent use or a day of full-on use, as long as you're not doing anything which is majorly power hungry. It's that kind of normal Android tablet battery use really. Speakers sound just fine. It's got expandable storage, and it does have 4G connectivity as well. Got the MediaTek G99 chip, which is a good chip. It's got 2 performance cores for gaming, 6 more cores which are more efficient for saving battery. However, this chip, the G99 chip, can't handle video editing at 4K, which some of the kind of Snapdragon chips that I'm used to in the Samsung phones, enough to do several streams of 4K and even encode in 8K video, of course, with the Ultra series. So I tried it out on KineMaster, and that only gave me a maximum of 2.5K video resolution for editing, and that is listed as the maximum encode and decode on the MediaTek G99 chip. And the Snapdragon 888, which is in the Fold 3 that I daily drive, that can handle multiple streams of 4K, up to 4K 60p with 10-bit color depth. There's also plenty of RAM and storage built into the tablet as well, with 8GB of RAM plus an extra 7 that it can kind of borrow from the storage. The storage is 256GB. You can expand that up to 2TB with the micro SD card. Got that battery which can last for a full day of use, which is around 8,500 milliamp hours, and they chuck in a charger into the box as well, which not everyone does. That's what Doogee are like. So they're good specs. The only other real distinguishing feature is that the second camera is a good macro camera. So that points to a bit of a use case for things like circuitry, capturing small details of work that you're maybe doing. That again points to it being put into the hands of Doogee's core audience, which are workmen, people maybe working outdoors, maybe in construction or other industrial settings. Or I guess maybe people like jewelers that are having to work with very fine details, or other artisans. Basically macro for close-up things. So if you know you need to document those things regularly on a tablet, then this might be a good use case for you. The T30T, it does what it says it does. It's a good value tablet.